New York's Attorney General sued former President Donald Trump and his company on Wednesday, alleging business fraud involving some of their most prized assets, including properties in Manhattan, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. An intricately detailed 200-plus page civil lawsuit lays out New York Attorney General Letitia James's case that former President Donald Trump, 3 of his children, his companies, and his business executives defrauded lenders, insurers, and other entities.
Following a comprehensive 3-year investigation by my office, including witnesses, interviews with more than 65 witnesses, and review of millions of documents that were submitted by Mr. Trump and others, I am announcing that today we are filing a lawsuit against Donald Trump for violating the law as part of his efforts to generate profits for himself, his family, and his company. The complaint demonstrates that Donald Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system, thereby cheating all of us. He did this with the help of the other defendants, his children, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump, and former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg and Trump Organization Controller Jeffrey McConney.
A litany of charges are laid out against the Trump Organization, alleging that the Trump Organization derived more than 200 false and misleading valuations of assets. False financial statements were used to reap financial benefits. Banks were fraudulently induced to lend money on favorable terms. $150 million was falsely gained in favorable interest rates from banks. Insurers were fraudulently induced to provide higher coverage at lower premiums. Assets values were falsified. This is blatantly contradicted by internal records. Misrepresentations affected most of his company's real estate holdings in any given year. Trump valued his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida as high as $739 million when the property was likely worth about a tenth of that. James accused Trump of further boosting the resort's value by taking on a branded premium. The worth of the Trump Park Avenue property was skewed by putting a value on several units that was roughly 6 times more than what an outside firm calculated in a 2010 appraisal. Included in the 2011 valuation of Trump's Westchester golf course in New York was the notion that new members would pay $200,000 in initiation fees, even though Trump instructed the club to reduce or waive those fees in a bid to increase club membership numbers, according to the lawsuit. Other Trump ventures, including his Doral Golf Resort in Florida, the old post office property he leased for a hotel in Washington, and Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago, are implicated in the lawsuit. Loans were allegedly extended for these properties because of inaccurate representations the Trump team made to banks. New York's Attorney General said Trump's conduct justifies canceling the Trump Organization's corporate certificate, which would effectively force the company to cease operations in New York State. She's also seeking a financial penalty of what she estimated as $250 million in ill-gotten gains. Additionally, James said Trump and his 3 eldest children, Trump Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, should be barred from serving as officers at any New York registered business. The lawsuit wants to impose several limits on what Trump's businesses can do going forward, with proposals to bar them for the next 5 years from acquiring real estate in the state and from applying for loans for New York chartered banks. She also seeks the replacement of the current trustees of the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust and the appointment of an independent monitor to oversee the Trump Organization's financial dealings for the next 5 years. The civil lawsuit against Trump could take years to work its way through the legal processes in the New York State court system before it even goes for trial. The process will likely include months and months of litigation over what shape the trial could take, or if the case even warrants going to trial at all. The lawsuit adds another battle line to the multi-front legal war Trump is fighting. Several of his former White House deputies have testified in the Justice Department's criminal investigation into the plots around the 2020 elections.
Has been